I'm going to say something that probably not everyone will like. Last week I returned from my third photography trip to the island of La Palma, one of the best places in the world to photograph the night sky. And after 3 trips doing night photography and astrophotography there, I've come to a conclusion that a few years ago I never would have imagined. I use star tracker mounts less and less each time. In fact, on this last trip I brought my Benro Polaris, and I only used it to capture panoramas. Without tracking, panoramas that you can see on my Instagram account. Are you not following me yet? Well, do it right now, because that's where I post my entire photography portfolio from my trips and adventures. I didn't use it not because it's a bad tool, but because I realized something that completely changed the way I approach night photography under truly exceptional skies, like those on the island of La Palma. And in this video, I want to explain to you exactly what happened, because I think it can help you save money, lighten your backpack, and save many hours of work. My name is Luis Miguel Azorin, and I welcome you to a new video from Natural Portraits. Before we begin, if you follow my photographic work, you will have seen me capture images like these from some of the most remote places in the world. Would you like to learn how to take this kind of images yourself? Well, inside the Natural Portraits Academy you have complete courses from 0 to 100 where you can learn all this and much more. You will learn how to photograph stars, bring abandoned vehicles to life, enhance the details of the Milky Way, and even get started in the fascinating world of deep sky astrophotography. All the courses at Natural Portraits Academy are single payment, lifetime access, are updated regularly, and include a direct line of communication with me to answer your questions. And if you'd like to learn all of this on location, with me, under some of the best night skies in the world, I invite you to take a look at our photography trips and expeditions. In the description of this video and in the first comment, you'll find a link to all of it. When someone starts out in night photography, they usually hear the same advice over and over. If you want better quality, you need a star tracker. If you want less noise, you need a star tracker. If you want more detail, you need a star tracker. And watch out. In many situations, that's absolutely true. I've been recommending the use of mounts for years myself. I've used them a lot and I still use them. But there's an important point. Most of the advice we hear is based on normal skies. Yes, the kind we have on the Iberian Peninsula and in the vast majority of populated regions around the world. But La Palma doesn't have an ordinary sky. For years, I thought the star tracker was responsible for the quality of my images, until I started visiting some of the best night skies in the world. And I started to realize something. The difference wasn't being made by the mount. The difference was made by the sky. Because when you work under an exceptionally dark, clear, and light pollution-free sky, something very interesting happens. The amount of signal your camera sensor receives skyrockets. And when you have a lot of signal available, the need to accumulate a large number of exposures is reduced. And the visual result starts to get very close to what many photographers hope to achieve through stacking. And here comes the part that surprised me the most. Before heading out on this last trip to La Palma, I prepared all the equipment. I brought the Benro Polaris, as I just mentioned. My intention was to use it extensively, but the reality is that I realized there was no point in connecting the tracking system when taking the shots. Because with ISO 6400 settings, 10-second exposures, and bright lenses like EF 1.4 or f 1.2, the signal showing the Milky Way was so strong that simply by properly processing those individual shots, I achieved results equivalent to what I get when stacking images taken in other places. Here's an important clarification. I'm not saying that star trackers are unnecessary. What I'm saying is something much more specific. The need for a star tracker depends greatly on the quality of the sky you're working under. If you usually shoot from areas with light pollution, if you work under mediocre skies, in short, if you need to squeeze every available photon, then tracking still makes a lot of sense because it allows you to accumulate signal, reduce noise, and achieve results that are impossible with a single shot. But when you find yourself under an exceptional sky, the equation changes. I think there's a very common mistake. Thinking that the solution to every problem is to add more gear, more accessories, more technology. When many times, the most important improvement isn't in the equipment, it's in the location. If I had to choose between a star tracker under a mediocre sky or a simple camera under one of the best skies in Europe, it's pretty clear to me what I would choose. Because the quality of the sky is still the most important factor in the entire equation. If not, why would the world's most important observatories be installed under the best night skies in the world? And this is precisely one of the concepts I focus on most in the complete courses on night photography and astrophotography at Academia Natural Portraits. Because learning technique is important. But learning to identify which factors truly lead to improvement in a photograph is even more important. In conclusion, after 3 trips to La Palma, I haven't stopped believing in star trackers, I obviously haven't stopped using them, and for now, I don't plan on getting rid of the Benro Polaris. But I have changed the way I understand when they are truly necessary. Because now it's much clearer to me that the quality of the sky has a much greater impact than we usually imagine. And in certain places, the available signal is so extraordinary that a single well-executed and well-processed shot can deliver amazing results. And now I'd like to hear about your experience. Do you regularly use a star tracker? Have you had a similar experience photographing under exceptional skies? Tell me about it in the comments because I'm convinced there's a very interesting debate here. See you again next week here on Natural Portraits. Goodbye.